Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Guna and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey bro, how are you?
What's up, bro? I'm doing good. Happy belated birthday to you. Hope you enjoyed it. You were telling me off the offline how much fun you had, but yeah, man, it's been a great week. And we're just what 7, 8, 9 days maybe towards closer to opening day, Crystal Palace. I'm excited, man. Ready to get into it.
Thank you,
Big deal.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes.
yeah,
It was a good time getting older, man. Another year gone by, but let's hope this year I'm going to see our team do really well. So we've been really on fire in preseason.
hmm
Today, we lost the game. It was behind closed doors, though. It was our first loss in preseason, but our main players weren't playing in that. But the last preseason game we had before we done our last show, it was
hmm
after our last show, rather, but we were talking about it. It will give us an idea of where we're at. You know, we knew Chelsea would be a difficult test. We were talking about, a game against a team like them is not really a friendly for us.
right.
Serious game that we do not want to be losing. So I'm sure that they put a lot of effort into it and we played them off the park. I was really happy. First half, what a great performance. I was messaging you. It was on really late here. So
Yeah,
it kicked off at 1 a.m. here, but I stayed awake to watch it. And that first half
jeez,
performance was so good.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
just keep scoring. We scored really nice goals. Odegaard's goal was brilliant too. Saka,
hmm
and then Lokonga sealed it off right at the end, 4-0 victory. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the game and our performance?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think our manager, Coach Arteta, pretty much summed it up. My thoughts overall. He, what did he say? He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, he's really happy with the performance. It shows exactly, what we want to do and what we can do, but we also can't get too carried away. Like it's one friendly, and that's how I took it. Like it was really exciting to see how we looked with all our starters out there up top. I mean, the past game against Orlando City, we started with our second team. A little shaky, Orlando kind of took it to us, ended the match or ended the first half 1-1. We sort of took over and ended up winning that one 3-1 pretty handily, dominated that second half. So it was really exciting to see how we looked with the with basically our what's going to look. It looks like we're going to have what's going to be our starting lineup for the first game against Palace. Um, so I was really looking forward to just seeing, how we're going to approach it, like as far as like tactic wise or who's playing where, how we're going to do it. And I mean, we looked really good. There was a lot of moments. I mean, I don't know how this is probably just because this is a preseason match and and it's in America and just it's a different spectacle. But there was moments where I was just like, we're not really in sync. Like we're just one or two passes off. But with all that being said, I mean, we ended up winning 4-0. If it was the kind of game I was hoping for, we probably would have ended up winning 6-7. I mean, that's how good we looked. Um, but then at the same time, like again, this is early on. Chelsea's doing their bit, trying to get themselves in sync. But if they would have won 4-0, they would have, their fan base would have, stepped up the banter as well. So overall, I thought we did really well. I was really excited, or really happy to just see Gabriel Jesus out there. Just the goal he scored was just class, man. I don't even remember who tossed the initial pass to him, but he's running full speed. The goalie's coming at him, and he just kind of taps it over, and just it lands on the goal just harmlessly. And it was amazing to see. My favorite goal, I think I had to point out, would probably just be the Lokonga goal. I was really happy to see him contribute, score a goal, feel good about himself. He took off the shirt, kissed the badge. He was really excited. So top to bottom, I mean, and then we had some of the um, some of the second teamers come on in the second half, and we still looked like we were the dominant force in that match. So it was good. It was a good way to end the America tour and bring it back to London. And I was happy with the performance, man. Yeah. And again, overall, today doesn't really count. I don't think behind closed doors, nobody really started, but we're going into the final match, the Emirates Cup, undefeated. So we should be happy for ourselves, and we should be looking forward to the upcoming season with a positive outlook.
Yeah, for sure. You can
Mm-hmm.
see that there's a lot of confidence in the team. Where we're playing, it's nice to see the link up between the players. And as we were discussing earlier in the transfer window, that it was important we get the transfer business done early so we can get the players integrated into the team. And somebody that came in, just it was his first start for us, making his debut. He just played for the first half, but he fitted in, looked really good. Zinchenko playing on the left hand side. I think he's going to be a really good signing for us. We know Tini gets injured a lot, so it's good to have him there, but also looking at him possibly playing in centre midfield as well. That versatility is going to be a great signing.
Yeah, how about that, man? He only had like one training session, is what I read, like one full training session, and I think they snuck in maybe a shorter session the morning of the game. But I mean, he was in America already with Manchester City, so he was already preparing for the season. So he already knows what Arteta wants. I'm sure there's, you could probably dig into the weeds and get some specific instructions that probably gonna have to work on, take a little bit of time to adapt and get to know his teammates and their tendencies and what have you. But for somebody again who had one training session, he looked like he was settled in nicely, man. I mean, he was making crisp passes, just dominating his end of the field. So really happy to see him come in and just set the tone. I mean, it was almost like, it feels really good to just watch somebody and just know that they're going to do their job and you don't have to really worry about them. So like whenever Tomiyasu's in there, you can kind of just assume he's going to hold it down on his end of the field. He's not flashy or anything like that. And that's how I kind of see Zinchenko fitting in. Again, like you said, Tierney's going to miss some games for sure. Hopefully he misses. I mean, hopefully it's not because of injury. Hopefully it's because we are fully committed to rotating and keeping everybody fresh. But Zinchenko's going to get some game time, and it's going to be nice to see somebody come in, and we're not going to have to worry about a letdown. And I'll tell you what, like as I said in the chat, like any lineup without Cedric in there, I'm happy. I like Cedric as far as like a squad player. He's going to be great for our cup games, but I don't want him starting regularly against Premier League competition, man. I just think we need to have a more solid lineup. Look great with Ben White out there as well at right back. Hopefully we see a lot of that action too. Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, and White. I think that's think back to like where we were like 2 or 3 years ago, man, when we had like Mustafi, Socrates, David Luiz, and somebody else back there. But like, oh God, man, it's amazing to just see the guys we have back now, and I'm really, really happy about that, about where we are in our back. Incredible to see. Like it's the improvement, and it's only going to get better. And these guys are going to, like, I'm still happy about our defense right now.
Yeah, definitely. Compared to what we had a few years ago, it's a
Yeah.
lot stronger. It's great to see Saliba come in. He slotted in, looked really solid. And you saw against Chelsea, he's up against quality players, but he looked really comfortable. He's good on the ball. And yeah, then that gives us the option of putting Ben White as a right back if Tommy is out. So yeah, it's looking really good. Squad is looking really strong. We could and will hopefully maybe get 1 or 2 more players in. There's been strong rumours today that Leicester City are looking to do an exchange with us for Tielemans coming to us and them taking Leno from us, as it seems like Schmeichel's leaving them. So we talked a lot about Tielemans. He would be a good signing, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that rumour?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done the bulk of our summer signings already. And as you said, we still probably need 1, 2, maybe 3, but I'm thinking more realistically about 2 maybe. But we also have to get a lot of we have to sort of sell off a bunch of our players that aren't going to be part of the squad. Arteta said it himself, like at the end at one of the press conferences in Orlando, he said like we're going to have a honest discussion with some of our players about who's not going to be part of the team anymore and what we're going to do to kind of get rid of them. So I think, yeah, Tielemans is one of those that I think, we've always had an interest in them. There's been mutual interest, right, on our end and also his end. Like he's made it clear that he wants to come to Arsenal, but I think what's holding it back is, we've got to sell some players. So I think the situation going on with Leicester, with his team, about them looking for a goalkeeper, trying to get rid of a goalkeeper, kind of plays into that. Like, all right, it seems to be like a situation that's ripe for us to take advantage of. All right, you need a goalkeeper. We have one we want to sell. You also have a player we want. Let's work something out. I might have to just kind of pass this on to you and ask you, like, how often player swaps even happen in football, because I've never seen it before. But that would be kind of a cool thing to happen. And I think even if that doesn't happen, the fact that we're going to have to start offloading players, I think we're going to see more. That's where we're going to be part of the news for the next couple of weeks, right? Just selling players. Arsenal sells X. Arsenal sells Y. I don't think we're going to see a sell or a buy for a while until we start getting rid of some of the players that we're not going to use.
Okay, in terms of the swapping, it doesn't happen too often, but
Mm-hmm.
the highest profile one I'd say for us in recent times was when Sanchez went to Man United, and in return we got Mkhitaryan. So yeah, that's the one I'd say that comes to mind. But as you said, it's something quite rare. Doesn't happen
Mm-hmm.
often. In this situation, it could work really well because Tielemans is a player that we want. They need a goalkeeper. We've got a really good backup goalkeeper in Leno, so that'd be a good option for them. Leno's obviously keen to get first team football, World Cup coming up soon as well. So it could be a really good deal for all parties. So yeah, let's hope that one does get done. It'd be good. See if we can get another midfielder in. I would say ideally two. If we could get, I know Ben White's an option at right back, but ideally if we could get a better, as you say, in Cedric, we've got too much confidence in him, so we could get another proper right back in. And then either a centre midfielder or a winger. The winger one's tricky. I was speaking to you about this before. There's calls for keeping Reece Nelson in the squad as a backup to Saka. I mean, speaking to some people, they were saying that they feel he's not really been given a proper run in the team. So why not keep him, give him that chance? We've seen some of our other younger players have come through and done really well in recent times. He's been with us for such a long time, so it's a sentimental thing as well with him. But what's your thoughts with that situation there?
Yeah, I would have to. I'm on that bandwagon. I kind of feel like he does need a proper run. As at the very least a backup winger to Saka. Saka's by far and away our best player, and we're if we plan on having and going deep in the cups and Europa League and competing deep into the Premier League to try and get top four, we're going to probably play close to 50, 60 matches, and we cannot have Saka play 40, 50 of that. Like we need to keep him down to like 25, 30, right? So we need to have somebody to kind of step in and give him that break, man, especially because, again, the World Cup looms large for a lot of teams, right? I'm sure everybody's worrying about it, obviously, but Saka's going to feature heavily for England. So yeah, I really like the idea of giving Reece Nelson a proper chance. Another one in that position, Nicolas Pepe. Like I think I'm back and forth with him, man. I mean, in the game with Chelsea, man, he looks so good, so fast. And again against Orlando City as well. Like he's such a talented player, but I don't know where we are with him. If he did put out like a Instagram post where he said he's worked out a lot of things and he's really committed. And so I don't know if that means that he's bought into what Arteta wants to do, and if that's the case, who knows if he's even happy to be a backup. I'm sure he wants to be a starter at some point in his career. So yeah, it'd be nice to get another winger. I don't think a guy like Marquinhos is going to be the solution, at least for this year. I think that's more of a long-term thing. I think we might catch him playing a couple games here or there, or make a couple of appearances. I'm not even thinking of him as like a serious contender for being part of that depth that we need. Yeah, man, I don't even know if we're linked with any serious wingers. So who knows what's going to happen if we're going to just stick with who we have. And I guess it all depends on who ends up getting sold or not, or what we can figure out. Like I said, I think hopefully we bring in 2-3 players, right? You've named a winger, a midfielder, a right back. I think that's the priority we look for. But I think in order to bring those 3 players, we got to sell like 4 or 5 players. So I'm kind of expecting us to make a couple of deals to buy, I think we'll have a couple of deadline day deals in place, whether it's selling or buying. But yeah, I honestly don't know what's going to happen with any more squad additions outside of Tielemans. Like I'm hoping that one seems to be like the most likely case to happen. The other 2 potential openings that we have are like, positions that we're going to go after. We'll have to just wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Keep the faith in Edu and Arteta. We've been doing a really good job. So I wanted to talk to you now about Edu's comments recently.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see. In the interview, he said that when he came in, he was really surprised with what was going on. We're talk of like challenging him for a 4th place, and people seem really comfortable with that. And he was like, no, what's going on here? A couple of our size, that's not good enough for us. We need to be challenging to get the top, winning things. And he was also talking about looking at the squad. He knew that some players had to be moved on. And even if it meant that we had to pay money to move them on, he was happy to do that because for him, it was investing in the long-term project. And he's worked really hard to work on getting the right type of characters into the team along with Arteta. And we're seeing there's a definite plan in place. We've seen it in the last transfer window, in this transfer window. We've got to give credit to him. He's been doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. When I joined the Arsenal nation, when I became an Arsenal supporter, it was at the beginning of the Unai Emery era, and that didn't last long. And then Edu came in and kind of cleaned house. And from what I've seen, he's taken over. It kind of reminds me of what a lot of American teams like to do when they sign a new general manager as a position, is what they call a position, right? So someone who's in charge of hiring the players, structuring the roster, and then the coach, right? So typically when that happens, though, there's an acceptance around the organization and the fan base that the team is going to suck and lose and have a really bad run, with the intention of building up the squad and competing, right? That's all, of course, everybody always says that, and some people are successful with it, some people aren't. And with Arsenal, it's been like, that's the approach they tried to take. But then at the same time, well, we're Arsenal, right? You cannot be accepting losing for really that long or at all, right? So you have to not only compete and show improvement and show progress, but you also have to accept the fact that it's not going to look pretty all the time. So I have to give credit to Edu and Arteta and everybody who have kind of stuck with their guns and have really kept the goal in front of them of what they wanted to achieve and what they're trying to achieve, and looking to achieve it by any means possible, right? So when I say that, I'm talking about like what you said, or what he said about like cleansing the squad and getting rid of players, and sometimes you have to just pay them off and just end it, right? Like how we did with Mesut Ozil, for example, with Aubameyang. Like, we get criticized. Well, we didn't even sell these players. We didn't get any money off of them. We're basically paying them to fuck off. And maybe because there was no way to sell them, right? There was nothing. So it's either let them sit on the bench and let them destroy the team chemistry that we're trying to build, or just say, you know what, like let's come to an agreement, let's go our separate ways and let's move on because we've got players waiting in the wings, right? So I was reading the article and I really liked it, and I really, I don't like the idea of constantly doing that, like what he did with Ozil and Aubameyang. I don't think that's going to happen a lot. Those seem to be very extreme cases, and again, pieces that were brought in before he was even, or maybe he was, I don't know exactly when he came in, right? But just that's those are players from the old era, right? Not the Arteta era. So you have to just kind of like say, well, fuck it, we got to let him go. Moving forward, I don't think, like, let's just say worst case scenario, someone like, I don't know, Emil Smith Rowe becomes a cancer in the locker room. I don't think we're gonna pay him off to just leave, right? That's not going to be the same situation. You know what I mean? So I don't think it sets a bad precedent moving forward. But it was something that had to be done to move forward, right? So, yeah, I like the interview, and I love the direction. I've had all the patience in the world. I understand the faction and the push that we need to be like, all right, well, we need to see progress. We need to do this, but there has to be some sort of like acceptance that, hey man, this is not going to happen overnight. And you'll hear a lot of criticism coming out like, well, when we didn't finish in top four, but we finished in Europa League, and someone will say, well, when Arteta came on, we were in Europa League, and now here we are in Europa League again. There's been no progress. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, sure, you can say that, right? Like, you can look and objectively say, all right, yeah, there's been no progress. We've been in Europa League 2 years later. But if you look at the direction the squad was taking when Arteta joined, and look at where we are now, like, you cannot say that there's no progress, because we were on our way out of Europa, and then now we're on our way back, and now we're course correcting, and now is the time to kind of see where we're at. And I think Edu mentioned in the interview, or I saw a quote that was quoting the interview, that he said, like, if we would have made Champions League, like, we would have been a year ahead of our schedule, right? So that just lets me know, like, they had a plan, and they continue to have a plan. So, and that's him essentially saying, like, this is the year. Champions League is a goal this year. So I like that he's out in the press giving these interviews, a little bit more clear about what's going on. And I'm really looking forward to the future with excited eyes, and I'm happy to see that this team is looking to push, but doing it the right way, doing it the smart way, and not just signing a player just because they're valued at $80 million. I mean, we can try and see what we can get, or try and go for those players, but right now we can't do that. But we want to get to that point. And in order to get to that point, we had to invest young. We have to, like, make the roster, potentially profitable, right? So if we have to end up selling these players, we can make some money off of them. And then also we have to start competing and bringing in young players like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, who are planning on taking us to the next step, right? You can see the plan. Last year was, let's just reinvigorate the squad, bring a bunch of youth on, and now it's, let's bring in some winners so that everybody can elevate their game. So I'm seeing it, man. So patience, right? But also, like, let's get this, let's go. And I think it's gonna happen this year.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Got a big up, Edu. I was really happy reading these comments, because that's what you want to see. You want to see that drive, that motivation, and from top to bottom. I was saying to you, a lot of it, should be coming from the owners as well. They seem to be wanting to do better, to win, investing more money, and you want to see that. It's not good enough just to talk about top four as a target. That's not good enough for a club of our size. We want to be looking to be winning things, be battling right at the top of the Premier League. So let's hope in the next couple of years we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now to finish this week's show, gonna do predictions with you for next season. Not long now till the season starts. just 9 days. So going to do predictions for Premier League, domestic competitions, and the European competitions, and to finish with World Cup as it is for World Cup coming up this year as well. So let's start with the Premier League and with your top 4 predictions.
Top 4. I'm gonna start with 4, and I'm gonna say Tottenham, and then I'm gonna say number 3, Arsenal. I think we're going to compete for the second spot, but I think ultimately it'll go to Liverpool, and I think Man City ends up top again. Kind of a very boring prediction. I've read some predictions saying that Liverpool might even fall out of the top 4. I don't think so. I think they will struggle, and so I think that a team like us I think we're on the rise, and a team like Liverpool's a little bit on the dip. They lost Sané, and I think Tottenham is going to probably be one of those teams that starts hot, but I think will fall off over time. I don't think they can compete at a high level in all these competitions. I don't think they have the rest of the squad outside of just like Son and Kane. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people fighting for second and end up finishing like third. So City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham.
Okay, and for relegation?
Relegation, Everton, I think Fulham, and I think a team like Brentford is in trouble, man. But who knows? Or Leeds. I'm going to go with Brentford. So I'm going to think Brentford, Fulham, and I think Everton's in trouble.
Okay, so with the cup competitions, obviously it's a lot harder to predict. We know it's knockout matches and anything can happen, but let's go for a prediction starting with the Carabao Cup.
Carabao Cup. I don't know. I think someone like Liverpool again. They're so deep, man, and their name always seems to be in the Carabao Cup. So I think they'll walk away with another cup, and I think it'll be that one.
Okay, FA Cup.
I think Arteta has revenge on his mind. I think Arsenal wins their 15th FA Cup.
That would be great.
Yeah, we're gonna really need to be competing for trophies. And he said in an interview, they asked him what's the goal for next season, and he was very vague but also specific. And he said our goal is always to win competitions. So yes, we're gonna try and win competitions. I think the FA Cup, there has to be some embarrassment and some sting from losing to Nottingham Forest in round 1. I think we come back and at least make the final and win. But worst case, we make the final.
Okay, and then on to Europe now. So starting with the Champions League.
Champions League, that's always hard to predict, man. But I'm going to say Real Madrid has one more magical run. I think they got a lot of the good players. Barcelona's made a lot of big name signings. I don't think they're going to be able to compete for that. So, and I don't know what PSG seems to be like, just kind of whatever. So yeah, Madrid, man. I think they're a hot team.
Okay, Europa League.
Europa League. Well, we're supposed to try and go for that one as well, right? So I haven't had a chance to even look at who are the other teams in Europa League. I think that's going to be ours to lose. So I'm going to say we're going to win that one.
Yeah, it's difficult with Europa League because we don't know what teams are going to come out of the Champions League and
very true
end up in the Europa League as well. So that's a hard one to predict. I think they're saying they're changing their format of that soon, where the Champions League teams that finish third in their group will not drop into Europa League. But I don't know when exactly that was going to be. But yeah, it's difficult to predict. Always all cup competitions. So let's finish with, as it's a World Cup year, early prediction for World Cup winner.
Ooh-wee. Well, my favorite has always been France. So I think France, it will be, I would probably say them. But if I had a dark horse candidate or like France's Goliath and I had to pick a David, I'm probably gonna pick Argentina. So I'll put all David. If it's a David and Goliath matchup, I think France and Argentina. And I think France ends up getting another one. They're just Mbappe, man. I think he's gonna have another class. And then Paul Pogba getting out of Manchester United, going to Juventus. I think it's gonna reinvigorate him, and then he's gonna just be way more happier in France like he always is, but just step his game up a little bit. Show what United messed up with, and I think it's gonna be them too. But I'll go with France.
Okay. So yeah, so much to look forward to now. It's going to be a great season. Let's hope our boys do well. If we can win a couple of trophies, FA Cup and Europa League, as you're predicting, along with finishing third, that would be a great season.
Yeah,
we got to keep optimistic. Worst case, as I was speaking to you about this before, top 4 is the minimum we need. It is absolutely must. Let's hope, worst case, we can get at least top 4 this season. So yeah, bro, next week it'll be time to preview our first Premier League game of the season. Exciting times. Crystal Palace on a Friday night. It's nearly there. Summer's flown by. Summer break, off season is nearly finished now. Emirates Cup on Saturday, and then that's it. Season starts. So looking forward to seeing you next week to discuss the Crystal Palace game. Thanks for your time, bro.
Always, brother. Looking forward to talking to you next week.
So that's all for us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.